what's up? If you're new here, welcome. If this isn't your first time watching us, welcome back. It's a no bullshit podcast. It's Kai,
Yo, it's Kokleang.
and we're coming right back at you guys with another basketball video, man.
Yes, sir.
A lot of very good basketball is being played, right? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
We're slowly getting closer and closer to the playoffs. We both have, some takeaways from the week. And I'll give it a cock, and I'll let you start off the episode, man.
Yeah, man. So, it was pretty just interesting. Like, in general, we wanted to see how, teams played after the All-Star break. I think it was a combination of, 7 games or so, more or less, that teams played. And, I'll just get right into it, right? The Bucks, right? I think I said in one of the videos I had where it's, teams to look out for, right? And I was teams most pressure to win to something, right? Or players, rather, right? I said Dame and Doc Rivers in general, right? And then you brought up the Bucks in another video, just in general, right? And look at them now. I mean, they've won their last 6 games, I believe. They had a big win against what's called the Clippers without Giannis, I believe.
Yeah.
So that was an interesting game that they won. I feel like Dame, he's been kind of getting more in rhythm, but I feel like because Giannis is out, I still need to see that factor of both of them being on the court, right? Because I feel like obviously if Giannis is not there, Dame is going to resort to oh, I'm the number one option, so it's easier for him to just do his thing and everything, right? And so the Bucks, they've been doing really good. I've loved I've seen from the defensive side, especially with the addition of Pat Bev and everything, right? He just adds that extra motor intensity, just that
Pat Bev.
that dog race,
That's
basically,
my guy,
right?
man.
And so him, and then honestly, it's great to see because one of the things is that down the stretch of the season, teams are getting they're getting hurt. They're getting hurt. They're losing players, but you got Chris Middleton still he's working his way back up, right? And then you got Giannis. He's been nicked here and there, right? But he's working his way back up, and them playing this well without being really 100%. It's gonna be interesting how they roll during the last 5 games of the season, roll into playoffs, right? Because I feel like those games down the stretch is going to be really important to how their playoff stretch is going to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Listen, it's with the Bucks is interesting because yes, they are winning because it was one of those things where it's yes, they're winning, but they're not beating a lot of good teams, and they've had a couple good teams that they've been able to knock off. So again, a team like this where they're a veteran team, it's championship or bust for these guys, right? So what's most important is kind of seeing that kind of chemistry really build, because compared to a Boston, right? The continuity. A lot of those guys that are in Milwaukee have won a championship, are from that championship team, but obviously, Middleton is not the guy that he was that season, but he's missed a lot of time, right? So it's going to be very interesting to see, if they're number one, if they're able to keep this up, right? The Celtics still do have a pretty big lead on that number 1 seed, but see if the Bucks are able to chip at it, right? Just like we said, even though they're winning games, they don't feel like the Milwaukee Bucks that we're used to. But with the addition of Pat Bev, he talked about how him and Bobby Portis have been really upping up the energy on that team. So it'd be very interesting to see for the rest of the season, how they fare. But
or just real quick, just real quick. I'm just looking at the game. I didn't even know the Bucks were playing today, but talking about how the Bucks, they had an impressive win against the Timberwolves and the Clippers, but god damn, they're down 20 at half to the Warriors. It's 58-78. This is the confusing part about the Bucks, man.
Listen, who knows? Maybe they have a 21-point comeback. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
listen, this is something I've been wanting. As Kaka knows, I've been wanting to talk about this guy for a week now, bro. Victor Wembanyama, dog. Like, coming into the season, I'm not gonna say I didn't believe in the hype because I mean, when you look at the tape, like this guy is just crazy. But even with that being said, I don't think if you said that you knew that Victor was gonna be this good this early, you're a liar. Nobody on Earth knew that this guy was gonna be this good because he's not from this Earth. He is an alien. Like
Yeah.
I have a bunch of stats that honestly, bro, like they've
Go
been
ahead,
blowing
man.
my
Go
mind,
ahead.
bro. So in the Spurs' last 10 games, they've allowed 111.8 points per 100 possessions, right? When Wemby is on the floor, that would be a top 3 defense in the league. He is a rookie. When Wemby is on the bench, the Spurs have allowed 121.8 points per 100 possessions, which would be the worst defense in the NBA.
Jesus.
Again, he is a rookie, right? Like we're having legit conversations, and I agree. He should be in the defensive player of the year conversation. I'm not going to
Yes.
say he should win it
Yes.
because I feel like that would set a bad precedent for being able to win defensive player of the year on a bad defensive team. But listen, his impact is unbelievable. These so you know these are just some of the stats for the most blocks this season, right? So
Oh
the
my
most
God.
blocks in a quarter are 6, right? The holder of that is Victor
Him.
Wembanyama.
Yeah.
The most blocks in a half is 7. The holder of that is Victor
That's one.
Wembanyama.
Yeah.
The most blocks in a game is 10. The
That's
holder of that is Victor Wembanyama. In this season, Victor Wembanyama with 166 blocks.
oh my
The
goodness.
season isn't even over.
Nowhere
right?
close.
I got another stat. Wemby has 232 stocks, right? That's steals and blocks combined this season. He's averaging more stocks per game of any player in the last 15 years. He already has more stocks than 7 of the last 10 defensive player of the years. There is
Really?
25 more games left in this season.
Jesus
He
Christ.
is a rookie. Like, bro.
He might double it.
Bro, Victor Wembanyama has 86 more stocks than the current Defensive Player of the Year favorite of Rudy Gobert, and this is the biggest thing. In 386 less minutes played, he's played almost 400 less minutes, and he has almost 100 more stocks. Like
that's insane.
This one was the be all end all. Where I'm like, the rookie of the year conversation is dead. There is no competition. Give the man the award right now. In February, right? Victor Wembanyama has more just him. He has more blocks than the Trailblazers, the Heat, the Clippers, the Kings, and the Hornets. As a team, all those teams have less blocks in the month of February than Victor Wembanyama himself. And the Bulls and the Knicks are tied with 47. This is when we talk about generational impact, right? This is the textbook definition where you put him on the court. Nobody, like, everybody was joking about, John Morant dunking on him and all this and all that, but guys are flat out not going to the rim when he's in the game, right?
Yeah.
Like, a lot of guys is one thing to see him on TV, but when you're on the court with him, you're like, fuck, people are that tall, people can move like that, right? Like, perfect example, the game against OKC, right, where Spurs are the last place team in the West. At the time, OKC was the number 1 seed in the West, and the Spurs won, and mainly because of Victor Wembanyama, right? Especially down the stretch, man. Pull up 3, block shot, pull up 3. You're right, like pumping up the crowd, like at the end of the game, saying, "I love this shit, man." Like when we talk about faces of the league, like I know we talk about Americans, right? But
yeah.
Again, as I've said over and over and over again, right? Like in my lifetime, I have not seen a rookie come into the league and hit the ground running like this. But maybe besides Luka, like these are the only 2 guys Like
Yes.
in my lifetime that I've been able to watch, like coming as a rookie, is like, yo, like these guys could be all stars. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
These guys can make
First
all
year.
NBA teams, like as rookies, man. Like coincidentally, both two players that were kind of like myths. You know what I mean? Like a
Mm-hmm.
lot of guys in both draft classes are talking about like I didn't really think these guys are real, and you're seeing it, man. Like 19 years old, like just being able, and that's the thing. It'd be one thing if he was just a generational defender, right? Doing all his
Mm-hmm.
defensive stuff, but he'll do all that
Oh my
and
God.
then give you 30. Like it's crazy. It's crazy. Like he was one assist away from having two back-to-back 5x5 games. This,
That's
which has
crazy.
only a 5x5 game has only happened about 20 times in NBA history, and he was one assist away from doing it in back-to-back games. Like legit. Like I said this in one of our group chats. Like the only two players that I look at right now, right, where if I kind of project to the end of well, not, it's a little bit more than two, where I project to the end of their career where they could be top 10.
Mm-hmm.
I think of really only four players that come to mind: Giannis, Jokic, Luka, and Wemby. Those are the four players that I believe, like, yo, if they, finish out their career on the trajectory that they're on right now, they're gonna be they're gonna be a top 10 player. Like, again, I've been waiting a week to talk about Wemby, man.
I
Like,
know, man. I know.
bro, again, if he keeps this shit up, I gotta grab his jersey, man. Like, I
Oh
just
yeah.
have to.
100%. And honestly, I feel like he's slowly, not, no, fuck that. Fuck slowly. He's quickly and quickly becoming a big favorite of all fans around the world, right?
Hmm.
Not only he already has this big following overseas, right? But in the states and everything, people don't really know his game. It's basically that Shaq meme. My fault. My fault. I
I
didn't
wasn't
even.
familiar with your game.
Exactly, right? And so, you know, the thing what you said about if he might be like the greatest rookie or the best rookie I've seen to hit the ground running since Luca.
Hmm.
But honestly, here's the thing: the difference is that Luca has the offensive capability, right? This man has it all. This man Wemby has it all on the defensive side. Like you said, you talking about a guy who can kind of chase you down and just block you on one end, and then hit a step back, literally between the leg, shooting a three. I'm like, that's like KD esque, right?
7'4", man. Like a 7'4" person should not be moving the way that Victor Wembanyama moves, man.
Yeah,
And I said it before, bro. This is the worst Victor Wembanyama we're ever gonna see.
yeah.
This
It's
he
the
has
rookie
done
season.
nothing but I mean, not year after year, week after week, day after day, get better, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili, fucking Tim Duncan, they've said it like, yo, this guy wants to be great. He wants
Mm-hmm.
nothing more to win and be great. Where you can
Bro,
see that, like, where if he keeps this shit up, bro, like, again, this is the worst Victor Wembanyama we're ever gonna get. How? Where does he go from here? Like, what is the ceiling? Like, and
it's
listen,
scary.
I, listen. Right now, I may be talking to hyperboles. I may wake up tomorrow and be like, bro, what the fuck was I talking about? But there's real GOAT level potential with
Yeah.
Victor Wembanyama, bro. Like, and
Mm-hmm.
and and this is coming from and I'll talk about him a little bit. The biggest LeBron fan you're ever gonna find. Where, listen, bro, you can't argue with 7'4" blocking shots and doing step back threes. Like, I forgot what the stat is, but he has like some level of like no player that has blocked the amount of shots that he has hit the amount of threes that he has. Like, this guy's crazy, bro. But I've gushed enough about him, bro. Like, I'll let you take it away.
Yeah, man. Honestly, I don't blame you, right? I know that you've been all this like excitement and all this. It's
I
been
love Wemby, man.
piled up in your head and everything. But honestly, it was just cool to see that we're starting to realize the greatness of a Wemby, man. Like, you know, and like you said, rightfully so. This is the worst he's gonna be because it's his rookie season, right? And so it's gonna be scary how 5 years down the line, Jesus Christ, 5 years down the line, imagine how good he'll be, right?
Mind you, he'll be like 24 in 5 years. You know what I mean? Like,
Exactly, and
oh my god.
who knows? Imagine if he actually grows into his body, he gets some muscle. Oh my,
Or
Jesus!
get some
But
teammates, man. Like, oh my god. Like,
but yeah, man. What's it called? Moving on from Wemby. That was a quick, not even quick. It was a good pre-segment there. But there's a team that I kind of want to talk about that doesn't really get a lot of attention or love, man, and it's the Orlando Magic. And why do you say that? Well, if you guys don't know, the Magic currently hold the fourth seed in the East, right? And who's that mainly part of? Paulo Banchero, man. Talking about a guy who, fresh off of rookie season, he was a rookie of the year, right? Rightfully so. He dominated. He proved, after that whole, scuffle before the actual season started with between him and DeJounte Murray, that was kind of crazy, right? People were just like, "Oh, he not like that. He not like that. Whatever," right? After that whole thing, but then coming to the season, actually dominating, doing his thing, right? Going through his little rookie wall type of thing, but he eventually overcame it, right? Then coming over this season, I'm pretty sure nobody really had them at many expectations like, oh, they're going to make the playoffs or something like that, right? Let alone look at them now; they're a fourth seed, right? Talking about one of the teams that started off hot after the All-Star break. They're one of the teams that started off hot, man. And so they're not. And sure, you look at the standings right now, man. Like they're not that far off from the third seed, man. And honestly, dare I say the second seed? Dare I say the second seed? They're only
the East is pretty close. The
yeah,
East is pretty close. Like, the Magic have a better record than the Knicks, the Heat, the Sixers, the Pacers. Like, all these teams that nationally are getting tons of attention. And as we sit right now, the Orlando Magic, a young team. I can't name a veteran on that roster, and Paulo Banchero is, I won't say carrying the team, but he's far and away their best player. And like you just said, like they're knocking on the door, man.
Yeah, man. Like I'm just quickly just go in a little bit more. Like I said, the Magic they don't get nationally televised games because it's the Magic, right? And based on last season, I mean they didn't really do well, right? And so our job here, on our podcast is especially for this topic that we're talking about, right? It's to highlight certain guys that people might not realize that, but we do, right? Because like I said, this is no bullshit, man. Like we talk about guys that that deserve some sunshine. Like shoot, look at what Kai just did about Wemby, man. I mean, Wemby's got a lot of love, but Kai is just shouting out at the top of his lungs, man, about how great he is. But I'm here saying that the Magic, they're coming, right? Then obviously I don't think they're probably gonna do anything in the playoffs, right? But it's just getting there. It's
something
a great
to build
thing.
on. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And it's kind of crazy because I look at it from another team who's kind of similar in that situation, right? But it's going all the wrong ways possible. Is the goddamn Pistons. Goddamn Pistons. What's it called? Kate Cunningham, off a great rookie year, and then Pistons has failed to surround him with talent or just fucking coaching or everything. It's everything, right? And so it's just weird with that. But what's it called? Before I get into obviously the Celtics, we'll talk about the Celtics, right? But before we get into that, talking about a team that they, in the Magic and the Bucks that, they're on a rise, right? What is one of the things I said about what teams to look out for in that one video? It's the Mavs, the fucking Mavs. I mean, I don't think you heard me. The fucking Mavs, yo, I don't understand because they come into the All-Star break, right? They had a 7-game win streak. Well, you look 7 games after that, right? They only won 2 of the 7. So you tell me 5 of 7 they lost, right? And obviously that game winner that the Cavs had, that was that was a tough one to swallow, right? But I don't give a
Pause.
fuck.
My bad, bro.
No, here's the thing. I said it, and I was like, "Shit." I'm just. It's all good. It's all good. Nah. Yeah. But no, but no, shit. But no, yeah, like, yeah. The Mavs. I don't care. I don't care about that, right? Because what I always say about any sport is that you don't have to let that come to that situation. It doesn't have to come to that situation, right?
Yeah.
You could have put the game away later than that. So I mean, like before that,
Yeah.
right? And so it's like I feel like, in my opinion, right, that if we don't start winning more soon, I feel like, in my opinion, Jason Kidd is on a hot seat, right? Because I feel like I don't think he's gotten the best out of this team. I think what he did with the team when we went to the conference finals against the Warriors, I think that was the best he could have done,
Yeah.
right? But with this team that you can arguably say that is more talented, is definitely not. I want to say more talented. I would say more in depth. They have a lot more depth,
100%.
right?
Definitely a
This is the
deeper
best
team.
team Luka has had thus far,
Mm-hmm.
right? Especially all around from his starting lineup to the bench,
Mm-hmm.
right? I've loved what I've seen with PJ Washington. We're letting him become more of also not the defender he is, but also the scorer that he is, right? And then Gafford, he's being that energizer bunny, coming off the bench or starting, right? Just him spot starting between him and Derek Lively. It's been really great. Like I said, Lively's been great, but one of the players that I think that he has to go after this season. I've seen enough. I said it in this group chat. I've seen enough, bro. This man, Tim Hardaway fucking Jr., need to get the fuck out my team, dog. He needs to go. He needs to fucking go. He's been shooting very, very, very poorly. Right? I don't care if you have to fucking cut him, release him. Oh, wait, you can't even do that in NBA. Fucking buy him out, or I don't know, trade him. Bro, trade him for a second round pick. I don't give a fuck, bro. I don't care anymore. Because I need my team to have an actual scorer off the bench that can be consistent, right? And I'm in my head, I'm like, he's not even that much better of a defender that a player I'm about to talk about. I think Hardaway's. I know he's having a bad shooting streak and everything, and the team is like, oh no, just keep on feeding him shots. No, I'm not. I'm tired. I'm sick of shit going to fast break. On a fucking fast break. He's pulling up from 40 feet. I'm like, what are you doing? And then I don't know. I don't know if you guys watch RDC and everything about about the thing about Kyrie when he's doing all this, just lay the fucking ball up. No, that's literally what Hardaway is doing. But here's the thing: he's not Kyrie. He's he's fucking doing random shit and just breaking it. I'm like, oh my god, bro! You don't know how much of a pain it is to watch this team and him taking constantly horrible shot selections. But here's the thing: he's doing that, but Jason Kidd isn't telling him not to do it. It is frustrating. It's very, very, very frustrating, man.
It's rough, having a player like, Tim Hardaway Jr. because he has a wild shot selection, right? And when the ball is going in the hoop, it's magic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the whole crowd is rocking. The team is filled with energy. But when those shots aren't falling,
wait, hold on. I'm sorry to cut you off, but I know you said it's magic, but the only magic we need is Luka magic. All right.
Listen, like he's the same type of archetype as a player like a Jordan Poole, right? Where when the shots are falling, we're having a pool party, but when they're not, he doesn't offer much else outside of that. You know what I mean? He's not that great of a defender. He's not a great playmaker. Like, if he's not making tough shots and scoring the basketball, he's just a body, right? And again, like you just said, like on a team like the Mavs where you need more production, consistent production off the bench.
Yes.
A move has to be made, right?
Yeah.
Like, and I'm sure there's definitely, there's gonna be suitors if the team is willing to make a move, right? And it may be a situation where Jason Kidd is like, I know this guy can get hot. And if he can get hot at the right times in the playoffs, that's a guy I want on my team, right? Maybe that's the angle he's looking at, right? And listen, I hear what you're saying. I'm just here to offer the other side of the coin. Maybe
you see this
that's
shit?
what Jason Kidd.
The time is fucking ticking, dog. The time is fucking ticking, dog. See this shit.
But between him and Powell, like I don't know, I don't know what you guys
Did you
do.
just mention Powell? Oh
my bad. I didn't mean to trigger you, bro. That's
bro.
Try to switch gears here.
Please. Well, actually, no. I'm just saying one more thing.
Mm-hmm.
If this shit don't work out, then between this year and like maybe one more year, guess what? I'm telling Luka, we pack it in our bags and we are taking our talents to San Antonio with Wemby, or we going to Philly? All right,
or Denver,
or Denver. Fuck it, I don't care anywhere but the Mavs. Fuck.
Yeah,
like,
I feel you.
Look at this shit.
And it's funny that you mentioned taking your talent somewhere, because listen, as you know, I'm not wearing a Sixers jersey right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I'm wearing my king, LeBron James. I am wearing a 6. I gotta get a 23, right? But
yes, sir.
Listen, 40,000 points, man.
Congrats,
this man,
congrats.
Every year, every month, whatever, is just breaking barriers that have never been broken before, right? Like, I don't care if he's your GOAT. I don't care if he's not your GOAT. I don't care if you don't have him top 5, 10, whatever. You have to appreciate these players while we're still able to watch them, right? Like, we have to appreciate a Curry. We have to be able to appreciate a guy like a KD, because these guys' years are numbered, right? Like, we could look up and none of these guys are hooping anymore. And listen, at least for me as a basketball fan, that's definitely going to be a sad time. And we definitely got a lot of good young players to look forward to. But man, these guys are the foundation of my childhood, man. Like, I've been watching Bron play. Like, Bron's been in the league almost as long as I've been alive. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
pretty much. Yeah,
it's one of those things where seeing him hit 40K in just a moment like that, where we may never see a player break 40,000 points. You know what I mean? Like, where at least how the league is constructed right now, that this may be a once in a lifetime opportunity. I feel like a lot of times, and even though I don't understand why, LeBron James is a polarizing polarizing player, right? Where
100%.
And the only thing I say to people that hate him, whatever, is like, bro, like, if you love the game of basketball, you have to be able to appreciate greatness, man. Like, this is greatness personified. He may retire with close to 45,000 points, over 10,000 rebounds, and over 10,000 assists. Like, this is numbers that we thought weren't possible, and he's making it possible. You know what I mean? I'll keep it short and sweet. Listen, he's my favorite player. But again, to be able to see that is, listen, like, I won't go as far as say I would like tell my grandkids about it, but listen, like, like I said, we're breaking boundaries that may never be reached again. Right?
Yeah.
Like, we thought, and I mean, how long did Kareem's record last for? Like 40 years? Like, if that happens again, I'll be in my 60s and I'll see somebody pass LeBron. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah. And yeah, man, like, shout out to the GOAT, shout out to the King, Here's the thing. I don't like to compare players, because especially about the GOAT conversation, where it's like, here's the thing. They play 2 different eras. I don't want to disrespect either.
This is not that type of podcast, I guarantee
you. Exactly, man. So it's like, we're type of people where it's like, we like to show love. Right. So, like, for other guys, right, Jordan was the GOAT of their generation. For us, bro, LeBron, hands down, the GOAT of my generation, of your generation, of our generation.
Easy.
Right. And so, him, having that feat of 40K points, it's insane. It's unfathomable, right? And who knows how many years he got left in the tank, right? And that record is just going to continue building and building and building, right? And, shoot, I know I was going to talk about the Celtics, but because we're talking about records, let's switch it up to college basketball. Talk about Caitlin Clark, man. Shout out to motherfucking Caitlin Clark.
Shout out to Caitlin Clark, man.
We always talk about, it's a man's game. Sorry, that man. Screw that. We talk about the king. Respect to the queen. Respect to the queen, because she broke 2 records within the past week or 2 weeks or whatever, right? She broke the women's NCAA record of total points in the career in college. But now she holds the record for men's and women's, beating out Pistol Pete Maravich.
He stands alone.
Exactly. And I thought that record would never ever be dethroned or just topped, right? But her seeing the evolution she's had the past couple years is just insane, man. Like, literally, she is changing the game of women's basketball, right?
Oh, 100%.
Talking about how, in my opinion, like, literally the player she reminds me of is Curry. It's definitely Curry, especially with the range and the ease of just confidence, just shooting it from half court, stepping, 1 step, 2 steps inside the opponent's half, shoots it effortlessly. And it's not like hitting rim or anything. It's straight cash, man. Straight fucking bro.
Bro, like, she's averaging 30 per game this season. Like, it's one of those things, again, like, we're a podcast that we like to show love. We're not really big into, putting people down and all this, like, where, and I said this last year, when LSU was really making their run, in the women's college basketball tournament, like, the thing with the women's game is, and there's obviously no disrespect to any of the past greats, but for this generation, like, they need faces. I mean, they need household names, and Caitlin Clark is that. She is, like, she will put eyes on televisions and asses in seats. You know what I mean? Where she's obviously gonna go number 1 overall. And
to the fever,
please, like, bro, like, I'm telling you, like, do not sleep on women's game, man. Like, they are hooping right now. Like, where it is very entertaining, it is very competitive, right? Like, where, again, like, you need those names, right? Like, even the NBA, like, they had obviously names in the past, but it really wasn't until Magic and Bird hit the league where that kind of got that big boom, right? Where people are really, really watching basketball, and I feel like it's the same thing with the women's game. You know what I mean? It's a younger sport.
Yeah.
Women's basketball has not been been around as long as men's basketball, so it's only logical that it's gonna take some time, right? But again, if you love basketball, if you love competition, if you love sport, listen, you can't help but show, you know what I mean? Hats off, ultimate respect to Caitlin Clark and what she's doing, man. Breaking records that never were thought to be broken, regardless of gender. And lo and behold, you know what I mean? It's a 6-foot guard, playing for Iowa. The women's Iowa team, that she's averaging 30, man. Like, I love to see it, man.
Yeah, and I just really hope, March it's March, so March Madness is about to get underway and everything. So I'm rooting for her to win a chip, man. I know there's some tough teams if she gets into the Final Four, let alone the national championship, right? But if she's able to break 2 crazy records and then cap it off with a chip, oh my god,
that would be a crazy year.
You could probably honestly say, and probably even without a chip, I think she's the most influential, or the most I'd say the most dominant NCAA player, men's or women's. I'd say, and that's something we can get into in a later day.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is. I mean, I think he won 4 national championships. I think like 4-year player of the years.
Hold on.
Listen, but I hear what
I
you're
like
saying
that.
though. I hear what you're saying though.
Oh wait, hold on. I'm gonna just say something though, real quick. I respect that. I respect that, right? But you have to also take into account how many 5-stars does he have on his team.
But they did win championships. You know what I mean?
That's true. But Clark is doing it with nobody. Well, not nobody, but they're not 5-star recruits. They're like 3 stars and below. So it's like, and without Clark, they're not even talked about as a ranked team.
It just at least with that. And again, all love and respect to Caitlin Clark. I just feel as though at least that I honestly don't think that resume is touchable. Like from because and I feel as though if there is a player that is gonna have a conversation, it's gonna come from the women's game because nowadays in the men's game you're getting way more one and dones. You're getting way more people playing overseas where you don't get those guys. They go to college for 4 years, right? So in the women's game it's the opposite where I believe it was I think it was Matt Barnes that was talking about it where that's one of the biggest reasons why women's college basketball is so much more appealing than men's college basketball because you're getting these big names that are staying at these schools for years. You know what I mean? You're getting opportunities to really watch them in college. The young female players are in college, right? Like where you switch over to the men's game, that's not the case. You know, you got guys playing overseas, you got guys playing in the G League where, you may not even get to see them.
Yeah.
Right. So I feel like again, Caitlin Clark is. She's gonna be a monster when she gets to the league, man. Like it's moments like this that make me think, like, dang, like this was Kobe's vision, man. You know what I mean? Like having the women's game blow up the way it is right now. I would have loved to hear, what his take on all this is. How he feels about Caitlin's game and the direction that the women's game is going, man. But as much as I love Caitlin Clark, I gotta ride with my LSU girls, man. Trying to go back to back, man. Trying to go back to back. Listen, 10-4, 20, 25. Listen, we trying to go back to back, man. But
respect.
Again, listen, the direction that the women's game is going in, man. Like it's gonna get to a point where if you're not watching, you're just hating. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and you know what? We're coming down to the end of our pod, right? And it's not fair to like talk about a winners or like a video of the hottest teams or not so hot teams after the All-Star break without talking about the Celtics. I mean, what isn't there to talk about at this point, right? They're hot, man. They're the team to beat. Like you look at them, their loss they just had. It took a big comeback to beat them. Right, but you're not going to see that often. You're really not, right? It took literally the last shot, essentially, to beat them, right, in overtime. And so, the Celtics, they're just a different beast. They're head and shoulders over everybody right now, currently. We'll see how they progress in the playoffs sooner or later, and if they even get to the finals, who will they match up? Right? We talked about a couple of guys in check out their videos. From the past, where like we talked about who could be a potential good matchup against them, right? But that said, we talked about our winners, losers, and just highlighting stories around the NBA past the All-Star break and highlighting the some of the college basketball game about the women's team, Kelly Clark, and all that, right? And so yeah, man, it's been no bullshit, and catch you guys on the next time. Peace.